Hey dudes, it's still Solo September, and today on Rocket Punch, we're gonna take a look at one of my favorite games to run solo. I present you Shadowdark! Is it quite possibly one of the best solo games of D&D type fantasy adventure? Let's find out.
All right, guys, let's take a look at what I think is one of the best versions of modern D&D type fantasy play. And with keeping with Solo September, why I think this is one of the best solo fantasy games out there. Okay, before all you grognards get bent out of shape, I'm going to tell you why I think it's the best. That's my opinion. I'm allowed to have it. What I like about this is the simplicity in mechanics. And it's not really bogged down by a lot of options, but there is choice, so that's nice. And it presents all the ideas in kind of that old school D&D feel in an easy to read and kind of easy to navigate format, especially for old people like us. So it has this, big text size for blind people. And it's kind of, I've always kind of felt it's like a natural progression or like the evolution of BX into kind of a modern day type. And yeah, we have OSC, which is also super awesome, but I don't know. I didn't come back to role playing until after OSC. All that kind of happened. So I came back in kind of right when Shadowdark was being shown. And that was like the first one I bought coming back into role playing. So that's also why I like it. So one of the things about solo, and I kind of talked about it before, is like people get stuck up, especially if you're a GM, like, oh, I got to make stories and NPCs and this and that. No world building. It's like no prep. Don't prep. You have tables and you're just going to roll on those. And your job as the solo player, as the GM part of your playing, is just to interpret those oracles and then take that and give that to the player side of your brain as something to overcome. So that's how, at least how I do solo play. Your mileage may vary, but yeah, that's how I do it. And it's kind of no prep and really quick and just kind of use that imagination part of your brain on the spot, which really makes it fun and engaging. So there's a couple things why I like this. Number one, I'm going to say everything fitting, all the rules basically fitting on the front and back here of everything you really need. I can't get it. This is kind of everything you need, is that there's all these roll tables. And in solo, one of my favorite things is like, I want to find out. I'm playing to find out. I'm not playing to play in my own novel. I don't want to do that. I'm playing to find out something. So number one, I want to make random characters and find their story. What's up with them? So what's really cool is you have this random table. And the random table generator is on page 40. And it just has everything here. What their ancestry, deity, class, language, even what spells they start with, alignment, and some gear too. And I think it's also on the back here. I mean, a portion of it is back here. No, it's not. That's just random encounter characters. So that's one of my favorite parts. And not only that, but also you have the all-important background. So you can also get some information. What was this dude or dudette? So that's number one. It has all these great character creation tables. And also, let me go back. I skip around. Sorry, my brain doesn't really work. It jumps all over the place. But you also have each class has its own little talents. So every time you make a new one, they're going to be a little bit different from the others, other than just their attributes. But you're going to have different talents and then your different backgrounds. So that makes it really cool. The other favorite thing I have in here is the carousing rules on page 92. So whenever you're back in town after some cool adventure, by going carousing, And this table, you can have this just, it starts another story. And I use this, in my just table games or even play by posts. That you can have something cool really just pick out of nowhere. So you wake up in the gutter with your wealth gone. Why did that happen? What happened there? The Thieves Guild bilked you for 5% of your wealth. You lead an entire tavern in a wildly insulting song about a disliked noble. And then look, you can get like an ally, a bard ally, which is really cool. So that's also great for story and that kind of thing. And then when you're making your hazards and your traps and things like that, it has 2 great tables here. So you don't have to plan the dungeon out. You can just roll on the later tables and you have just a huge, 3x12 table of traps and hazards that could happen. So you never know, like, what could be down this dungeon area or in the city or whatever. The other thing I really like is the something happens table. So this is a great thing to kind of start in media res. So, I have no idea. I made a character and what's going to happen? I just roll and start right there. So you can just roll on this and you could have like someone tries to pick your pocket, a small woodland creature jumps out of a backpack, multicolored orb drifts up to you and then zips away. You hear a beast cry out in pain just ahead, that kind of thing. You're just making the adventure. Like, this is such a great book. I mean, Kelsey did such an awesome job on all this, gathering of all this stuff into just one simple tome. That's what she did so awesome. And then you also have the rumors table on the next pages, which is really cool. So every time also, like when you're doing, going back to the tavern or whatever, you can roll on here and get some random rumors, or maybe even while you're buying armor in a shop or weapons or items or whatever, maybe the shopkeep is there or some other customer, or when you're just walking through town, somebody kind of spreads these cool rumors, like a crocodile dragged a richly laden mule into the sewers. That's fun. The cult of Shun is planning a fiery coup at midnight. I said coup. Whatever. Goblin spelunkers found an underground cathedral. A rival group of crawlers found the map to Geral's horde. So that's really awesome. And then you have the adventure generator. So again, you can just randomly roll stuff. Deliver the noble of the fallen hero. Persuade the high priest, murdering townsfolk. Why are they murdering townsfolk? Kind of like the Spanish Inquisition, but not the Spanish Inquisition. Something else. And then you have all these adventuring site names. Monastery of the Frozen God. Barrow of the Lost Darkness. These are all just great things. Like, I've basically, in my mind already, I haven't said everything because I kind of forgot. But I mean, my mind would already be having the adventure mostly done there. I mean, we already have all this stuff ready to go. When you go into towns, you got your NPCs with their ancestry, age, alignment, wealth. You got what's going on with them, what their occupation is. And then my favorite, I love using this when I ran Shadowdark. I'd have these rival crawlers, which is really fun. And then they also have like crazy party names. I actually use this in a lot of my other games too, this party name. That's always fun. You got your most important list of names, and then you also have like a syllable name generator, which is, once you run out of all of these, you can just make up strange names. And then you get to the next portion. So once you have an idea for your adventure, is it going to be a hex crawl, or is it going to be, in a dungeon or something like that? So here we kind of start with a general dungeon. So you got the size, and you can just roll dice, and then you can just draw circles around those dice, and then you kind of use that to find out what kind of room it is, and then you can just kind of add little details inside. So very quickly you can make this dungeon in here, which I think is really great. And then you got the hex crawl portion, which is really great. And also in hex, the zines, Kelsey's zines, the fourth one is all about exploring and developing the hex crawl system even more. So that's always nice. And then you have your settlements. So you got your dungeons, you got your hex crawl, and your settlements or points of interest or whatever. So you have all these different areas of the districts, and then taverns, which everyone, you need that. The name, you got the name, the food, the drinks. So after Shadowdark, like I used to just kind of gloss over the taverns, but now with this, I have a nice chart. I don't have to make anything with food and drinks whenever like, oh, I will have the local cuisine. Well, I can just roll up and ready to go. And then you got your shops, your shop generators. And then, I mean, this is the meat and potatoes of Shadowdark. I mean, this is the best part. Like every single environ in the book has a D100 table. Not only just encounters, just random stuff, just anything. Like in the Arctic, that's really cool. Like you got a hermit choosing the PC as his next prey, just stalking him through the wild tundra. The artisan district, you got a cloaked figure defaces a shrine to Madeira and bolts. Oh, is your clerica a cleric of Madeira? Or maybe your god is called you. Maybe Madeira and the god that you worship have some kind of connection. You got the castle district. You got some dungeon prisoners grab at ankles from the barred gutters. Maybe they grab you from, release me, I'm innocent. Or maybe they're like, oh, have you heard the rumor of the great riches? Allow me to escape and I shall lead you the way. That kind of thing. And you got caves, so you got like cannibalistic beastmen hunt for their next meal. Are you the next meal? Deep tunnels. Human priest who has been lost 15 years offers healing. So even beneficial things are in here. You got the deserts. I really need to do a desert game. The genie and Ifriti trade blows in a thunderous duel. That would be really fun. That's cool. Forest. You got some wolf-fang goblins riding wargs that tear through the trees. You got your grasslands. You got a grass-woven effigy of a horse stands in an empty field. Ooh, that's spooky. Very cool. High district, Lord Larvin chokes on his wine. It's been poisoned. And you got the jungle. You got a mossy leaf-like structure crops up. A Medusa resides nearby. That's cool. You got the low district. A red-eyed being watches from a shadowed window. The market. A woman stealthily sprinkles powder into a spice barrel. Oh, the spice. The spice. You got your mountain encounters. Berserkers in mountain lion cloaks hunt for game. Oh, that's very cool. Ocean, a whipping storm batters the group and threatens the vessels. River and coast. Thin tunnels in the mud or sandhouse, a snake swarm. Ruins. You got a mutated cave brute explodes through a crumbling wall. Oh, that's fun. Slums, a frantic manacled man wriggles out of a cellar window. That's kind of like the other dude. Maybe they're brothers. Who knows? Swamp, a fast-moving swarm of snakes slithers along the ground. Oh, you could have like a anaconda adventure. The tavern, a smirking elf challenges PC to dice game. You got the temple district. Frenzied, bloodletting celebrants crack whips at passersby. Ooh, that's cool. Tomb, an urn that says Bimbles holds a blue zombie cockatrice. That's bizarre. University district. 2 animated armor suits duel destructively in the street. So you can see like just how many adventures I've just come up with just so quickly with all these. Such a great system. But not only that. You tired of your mundane, regular old monsters? Well, you got a nice monster generator. And you could add the mutations here, or you could mutate the monsters in the book to make them a little different. Have all your, adventurers seen the goblins? Well, what if it was a shape-shifting goblin? Or a goblin that breathes fire? Ooh, or telepathic goblin. Ooh, that's crazy. Or, with wings. Or a giant spider with wings. So, yeah, you can just see how awesome this is at solo, because it's all about interpreting the tables and figuring out what goes on. No planning needed. And then treasure. We have all these nice treasure tables, so you don't have to spend time figuring out what's in the layer. No, you can just roll on it. When you're level 0 to 3, you roll on this table. 7 to 9, whatever, 10 plus, you get this cool stuff. You got some mundane stuff, some luxury items, and then some just random boons, which I have not used this system yet. I should really try that, but we haven't really done anything of knighting or anything that would really, I guess, maybe if we saved a wizard or something, maybe it gives you something cool. But there's all these oaths, like the city watch will pardon a crime you've committed. That's pretty cool. Or a dwarven forge master will make you a spectacular sword. Maybe you just have to get him the materials and he will make that for you. Then there's all these little secrets and blessings, which are cool. So you could be blessed by some, elven witch in the woods or something like that. That's pretty cool. Then you have all these things to make your magic items if you want. Magic armors, magic potions, scrolls and wands, utility items, which are my favorite items. I love a good utility item or a terrible utility item. Those are even better. And some cool weapons with item personalities, which is the best. You want all your items to have personalities. So yeah, argue with me. I dare you. Give me an excuse why this is not, I'm not saying the best, I'm saying one of the best games for solo play. It's Solo September still. I want you to grab your Shadowdark book and I want you to make a character at least and a background and all that. And I want you to start playing 15 minutes a day. That's all you need. At least 15. Come on. You can do it. It's Solo September. Let's go. Make Kappa proud of us. Kappa! See you on Rocket Punch. Rocket Punch! Later, dudes.